Okay, there he is. Send it.
Yeah, baby, keep down.
So what island are you on?
Yeah, so I live on Maui, Maui. So we're the second largest island in the Hawaiian island chain. So Big Island's first, then Maui, and then Oahu, and then Kauai. So we're a pretty large island. Born and raised here.
Or how was the fires? Did they affect you at all? Were you far enough away from?
It actually did. Yeah, surprise. So there was two areas where the fires kind of flared up. There's one in obviously Lahaina that everyone knows about, which was devastating. But we also had a fire up country Maui, which is on the slopes of Haleakala, around 2,000 to 3,000 feet elevation. And that's kind of where I live, up in the mountains a little bit. And yeah, we had a fire up there, the Kula fire, and it burned, I think it was around 12 homes up there. And a lot of the, national, international news didn't really cover that, but, which is fine. Lahaina was devastating. That was a big loss for us. But yeah, we had quite a bit of devastation of country Maui too.
Yeah, dude, it was nuts watching it over here, man. I mean, what do you do in that situation, dude? Like, it's an island, right? But it's still pretty big. But for us, we don't know. It's like, man, are you trapped on there? Or, it's a little scary.
It was scary. I'm born and raised here, and in the 44 years of living here, I've never seen anything like that. We've being a tropical island, we get quite a bit of moisture, and we get fires once in a while, but nothing like that. It was eye opening for sure. Um, and seeing what's going on in California is just sad to see. I know what those people are going through, and thoughts and prayers out to them, man, because it's a scary time. Brings PTSD for a lot of the people here in Maui County.
I bet, man. Is the rebuilding? Is the rebuild has it started or is it still kind of cleanup
Yeah,
mode?
cleanup's pretty much been completed, and we're seeing some residential homes go up. We're hoping for kind of Front Street, Lahaina, um, some of the businesses to start rebuilding too. That hasn't happened yet, but some of the residential buildings have gone up, which is good to see. See families getting back into their homes, which is needed here.
Did it have any effect on your guide business?
No, well, I mean, during that period, obviously people weren't coming, so tourism levels dropped quite a bit, which affected all businesses. Our economy is based on tourism, and when people don't come to visit, it affects the whole island, the whole economy. So yeah, it definitely did affect us. Um, but we've got a great client base. My partner Pat, who started Hawaii Safaris, Pat Fisher, legend. He unfortunately passed away about 3 years ago. But he built the business, built the brand. I was working with him for almost 12 years, and just built an incredible business. We've had a huge following of repeat clients. So they kept coming back, and we've been very fortunate. I think Hawaii has become one of the hot spots for people wanting to come and practice their skills, if it's archery or rifle. A lot of people get one or two tags a year, and that's what you get kind of in the mainland. And after that, you don't really get to hunt as much unless you're doing turkey hunting or things like that. But coming to Maui really gives you opportunity to come hunt axis deer. We got a rich environment here, so it's fun for hunters, and it's definitely growing in popularity, probably like Texas. But we're all free range here, and got a great herd of axis deer.
Yeah, I mean it's that's why I wanted you on. It's definitely one of those new hunting arenas that's kind of came on to the social scene and stuff. And I've seen I got kind of introduced to it a couple years ago when I started kill shot. Started getting a lot of access videos from other outfitters over there. So it's definitely on my list to come in. So is there like a season? Is it a little different than out here in the regular states as far as regulations?
Yeah, the best time. So you can hunt them year round, but if you want to hunt a trophy buck, which everyone does, um, is the best time is usually around April through August. The rut kind of kicks off in May, June, July, and that's kind of the prime time. But most of our hunters come between that time frame, April through August. That's kind of the prime time for hunting axis deer. We also got Spanish feral goats, which are pretty fun to hunt too. They're pretty cool looking goat, wide flare antlers. We got feral hogs, so just a rich environment with quite a selection of animals to hunt here on Maui. So we're very fortunate to be able to hunt those year round.
How long does the axis rut last? Is it a I can't remember. Is it like a multi rut, or is it like one big rut and then you're good?
Yeah, no, there's actually, a lot of people don't know this, but I would say May, June, July is kind of the peak of the rut. It just depends. Every year is different. Depends on moisture levels. It depends on a lot of things, but usually moisture is a big factor. But yeah, May, June, July, and then we do sometimes see a secondary rut in September, October period, which is pretty fun too. Not as hot as kind of that June, July period, but still get some rut activity in that September, October period. So.
Well, well, Nicholas, let's start at the beginning. Like, if you're a new hunter that wants to hasn't drawn anything or wants to come to Hawaii and hunt, like, what do you guys offer? I guess mainly, and I talked to you before was archery, but do you offer like do you have weapons there that people can bring over? Or they fly with them? Kind of what are you looking at when you want to come over there and hunt for bringing a weapon and stuff?
Yeah, no, great question. Our state's a little more challenging bringing rifles. So when you bring your rifle, you have to check it in at the police station, which can be a little bit of a headache. So what we usually do is just we have rifles we provide to our hunters. We got a great selection of rifles, Husqvarna scopes and Bergara guns, custom guns. We got a great selection. So we usually have our clients just use our lineup of weapons. It's just a little bit easier than bringing your guns here because you got to go to the police department, check it in, and all that. It's kind of a hassle. Um, and then obviously, if you're bow hunting, you want to bring your own bow. Um, Other than that, you need a license. The license for non-residents about $110. There's no tags here, just a license that you need to have while you're in the field. And yeah, other than that, we meet at a location and we hunt. Usually the hunts are like 2.5 days and high success rates, high opportunity rates, and you get to see a lot of animals, which is fun for a lot of people.
Are you set up for lodging and stuff, or does somebody just book a hotel, or what do they do when they come over?
Yeah, a lot of people come with their wives. So the husbands usually get brownie points because they set them up in a nice resort in Wailea at a hotel. The wives can stay at the hotel. They can go hunt half day, come back, go to the beach with their wife, and then join us again in the afternoon. So it's kind of a good setup that us gentlemen can get away with sometimes with our wives.
This definitely makes it easy. Definitely makes it an easier
Yeah.
conversation to start out for sure.
Yeah.
So you say they're about a 2.5 day average hunt.
Yeah, they're usually about 2.5 days. Yeah.
Is it what type of hunting are you offering? Is it just spot and stock? I mean, how big is the area? Kind of give us a picture of what it's like to come over and hunt your place.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we have different leases of ranches that we hunt on. The ranches vary anywhere from, 3,000 to, 600 acres, smaller parcels. It just depends where we go. They're all usually upcountry Maui. Elevations anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 feet. Just beautiful ranches, real green, lush vegetation, kind of what you think of when you come to Hawaii, kind of that jungle feel. But we have some open pasture areas where the deer like to feed. Um, it's humid, it's hot, so a lot of people who come, they're not used to the humidity, you know, where up in Arizona, a lot drier, so people are not used to the humidity. But yeah, we're usually hunting them first thing in the morning and right in the last light in the evening. They they're pretty skittish animal. They're very jumpy. They don't like to be in the open too long, so we usually have our best luck in the morning and afternoons. Midday, they're usually bedding in the gulches, thick vegetation areas, which is challenging. But it's all spot and stock. We kind of know where they're hanging out, kind of try to get an idea of where they're at, and then try to get in range. And yep, all spot and stock, no tree stands or blinds.
What's the average like shot distance you're taking for a rifle?
I would say around 150 to 200. Yeah,
It's pretty
not
close.
too bad. You can get closer. Obviously, we do it with archery, but they're skittish, and there's big herds, so you have lots of eyes looking around. So it's not just the buck. You've got usually 20 to 30 does with them during the rut, so that can make it challenging.
How aggra- how aggressive are those bucks on the rut?
They're aggressive. Um, they'll get at it. They'll bang heads pretty hard. They have a I don't know if you ever heard their call, but it's pretty unique sound they make, and they're screaming, all through the day during the rut, calling in does and challenging other bucks, and it's fun. It's kind of a little bit like that elk hunting where hunting elk during the rut where they're screaming in your face. So guys love it. They enjoy it. I think they come to Maui for their first time thinking, oh, it's just beaches and easy hills, but it we got some rough terrain, some big gulches, and it's it's challenging. So they always leave with a different perspective.
Can you call? Have you ever tried calling? Did they make a access call? I have no idea. I mean, did they make one that
They
you could?
do. They do. Yeah, there's a guy in Texas who started a call company, and we started to use them, and they do work in the peak of the rut. We've had some success with them in the peak of the rut. Um, but sometimes I like to just go in silent. I don't like to call. I just like to go in silence. That's how I hunt my elk too. Just go in silent, and that seems to be the most effective. But if we bust them and we need to try and bring them back, sometimes I'll make some calls. But it does work. It definitely works.
How many animals do you like average in a day? Like, what do you think's a typical average?
Oh, you see animals every time you go out, but we'll see, at least 100 to 150 deer.
Dang, that's insane.
A lot. Yeah. Yeah. We have rich environments. It's awesome. Those are not all bucks. Those are does and keiki. We call those, fawns and bucks, but it's a rich environment, and you'll see pigs and goats and things like that, depending on where you're hunting. But yeah, fun environment.
So a lot of your clients, are they just coming for access, or can you buy like a la carte and just come hunt all three on your trip, or how does it work?
Yeah, we call it the Hawaii Slam. You can come out, hunt axis deer. You can hunt feral goat. You can hunt feral pig. Um, some guys do it all. Some, but I would say axis deer is the most popular for sure.
What is there? I guess you can't. Can you fly it back from Hawaii? The meat? Yeah, I guess you could, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The thing with I'm not sure if you've had axis deer, but it's amazing. It is probably one of the top wild games I've eaten. Elk's pretty darn good. Moose is good, but axis deer is amazing. What we do is when they harvest it, we'll usually age it for a couple days in our refrigerators, and then we'll freeze it, put it in the cooler, and they check it in on the airlines. And at 30,000 feet, it stays frozen to their doorstep. So super easy process, and we help with that. So everyone takes their meat home. Pretty rare guys leave their meat.
Do guys bring the coolers with them, or they pick them up out there and bring them back?
Usually just we have extras. Can go to Walmart. We have a Walmart here or a Target, and guys usually just buy them here. Cheap bread coolers.
Does the airlines give you any issues for the meat? You just check it in like normal, pay the extra.
Knock on wood. So far, we've been good. Yeah, no issues as long as there's no ice. Cannot have ice in the coolers. So yeah,
Because I've heard
yeah.
those feral goats are pretty good to eat too. Heard they taste good.
They they are. They're it depends how you cook them. They're a little bit more tough, but yeah, I mean they're delicious too. Great for jerky, stews, things like that. Um, I'm pretty spoiled. Axis deer to me is the best, but I'll eat anything, goat, pig. We do it all, so we don't waste anything.
Are the goats in the same area as the Axis? Or are they? Because I had this one guy send me a couple of videos on these cliffs they were shooting them on. It was nuts. It was. I mean, they were like up on some. straight verticals.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, so for our outfitter, we have an operation on the Big Island as well. Kevin does our operation on the Big Island, and he does hybrids, sheep, mouflon, and feral goats on the Big Island as well. And then we also have Molokai, where we have some guides there who do axis deer and goats as well. So we're actually on three islands. I personally only do stuff here on Maui, but um, the goats, it's yeah, they're steep, nasty terrain, kind of like, sheep hunting and or goat hunting. You could shoot them, but not sure if you always get them if they fall. So you got to be careful with that. It's challenging. It's steep and nasty terrain. So yeah, they're fun. I like the goats. Goats are a lot of fun, especially with the bow. I love them with the bow.
That's mostly what I've seen is just guys hunting with the bow.
Yeah, yeah.
And this, what kind of pigs do you guys have?
They're just feral pigs. Traditionally Hawaiians, we would always use dogs and use knives and spears to kind of harvest them. But we do have spot and stock pig hunting we do with clients. It's fun. Pigs to me are the hardest though. They're so nocturnal, so hit or miss. Um, I don't think we have as rich as environment as maybe Texas, even though I haven't been there, or California. But we've got a good population. They're just a little bit hit or miss. So we do them, and guys can harvest them. But I think they're the hardest out of all three of them.
Do they cause a lot of ag problems like they do? Texas, the problem is they breed so much and they just cause so much agricultural problems that they try and just eradicate them, but they can't even keep them under control.
They do. The challenge we have in Hawaii is all these animals were introduced. And we have a real delicate ecosystem with our native plants, native birds. Um, we also have no predators. So we are the only predators, us hunters. And we tend to have an overpopulation of axis deer, goats and pigs, and they all are causing destruction to the land and our watershed. So we are at a point where we are trying to find a solution to manage it because some of the cattle ranches don't like the animals, and we need to find the balance so that we're not overrun by wild animals because we don't have the predators. So it's been a little challenging with that, kind of finding the balance between hunters, cattle ranches, and protecting our land. So we've been kind of navigating that with different parties, and I think we all are trying to find that solution. But that can be a challenge, and it's not just the pigs. The deer can do damage too, just because when you have herds of 500 running around, it just causes there's a big impact to that.
How does Hawaii manage that? Does they have a traditional like fish and game office, wildlife office that helps kind of do take numbers and kind of give estimates and management solutions?
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of aerial flying. I think that's up for debate on how many axis deer we currently have on Maui. Depends who you talk to, but they are trying to find ways, with FLIR, all the new technology with FLIR. They can kind of see they fly at night and can see, thermal imagings have really helped kind of give a better accurate number on our populations. But yeah, it's all with our fish and game, and there's a lot of grants going around. There's a company called Maui Nui Venison who's been selling the meat um, online. They've been featured like on Joe Rogan. The meat's incredible. So there's some things that they're trying to implement, but the challenge here with Maui is everything's private property. There's no public land. There's a real small piece, but other than that, I would say 95% is all private. So as hunters, it's real challenging to get permission. And without permission, you can't control animals' populations. And the ranchers or landowners don't want to allow access because of liability. And that's kind of the challenge we've been running into. But I think I think we're finding a better balance. I know that There's been quite a few uh, of the herds been knocked back in a positive way. We have a lot of animals, and there has to be a better balance. So the state's working on it.
It's always a tough job, man. We
Yeah,
sit here and as hunters, we want the opportunity,
it
and
is.
we know there's a little bit of sacrifice, but it's definitely a tough balance.
It is. It's a tough balance, and I'd love to have them keep growing, but it's not. It's not how things work in this world.
How many hunters are you guys taking a year?
Um, as an outfitter as a whole, the company probably does, I would say 30 hunters for what, Axis or overall, or yeah, Axis. Yeah, Axis. Yeah, I would say 30 to 35 a year is a good number. We like to manage the herd as well. We don't want to, over harvest as well. We've always been trying to protect the herd, keep the genetics, keep the age class, and not over harvest either.
Do guys come and they only shooting the bucks, or there's people coming shooting for meat too, shooting does, or
No, they come shoot does too. We've got a couple guys who come back every year and just load up on does and meat and take it home, and that's what they live off for the year. Yeah, the meat's incredible. So
don't. If you have never had access, don't eat it
yeah,
because you're
exactly.
gonna want it. It
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
is awesome.
So
So what else do guys do? They come? Do you guys do fishing?
yeah, so Kevin on the Big Island, he's got his own charter called Northern Lights, and it's out of Kona, and does marlin fishing, ahi, and pretty amazing fishing in Kona. I would say Kona's the best fishing in Hawaii. But we do fishing. We do some fishing here in Maui. Um, Pat Fisher, who started the company, he used to take guys out, and it was good fishing, a lot of bottom fishing, things like that. So yeah, it's fun. It's kind of like New Zealand, you're hunting up in the mountains, looking down at the ocean, and then the next thing you're diving or fishing in the ocean the same day. It's the only place I think with New Zealand in the world you can do that.
Well, I was going to ask you what outside of hunting, what other passions do you have over there? Do you dive and do you spearfish and dive and all that stuff too?
Yeah, yeah, I do a lot of fishing. Did a lot more spear fishing when I was younger. Don't do that as much. I got two boys now, so they take a lot of my time. But definitely do a lot of fishing. I would say fishing and hunting that's that's what I live and breathe. This past year, I was up in the mainland, drew a tag in Alaska, and got to hunt mule deer in Alberta, and had a great time doing that. So that was a blast.
Those deer are retarded big, man. You like they're mule deer, but their bodies are just so they're built for that winter, and
Huge.
they're so deceiving when you walk up. You're like,
Yeah.
what the?
Yeah, cool. Alberta was amazing. Really cool country, great people. Went with my buddy Rye, and saw a lot of good deer. Got to harvest a great buck, and yeah, had a blast. Had a blast.
How good a deer did you shoot?
I got lucky. I went beginning of September. I think it was September 3rd, and harvested a really good buck. He went 191 gross, which is my biggest buck to date. Was really lucky, happy. Um, just how the whole hunt went down and how I made the shot and just got lucky with the whole thing. Never forget it. He full velvet, but hard velvet, and he had all these extras. He had like a hook on one side, and it was just a real cool character buck. So getting him mounted, and I have a picture on my Instagram. But yeah, beautiful buck. Really, really blessed.
Was this archery or rifle?
Archery,
Yeah,
archery, archery. Yeah, I only do archery now. I haven't picked up a gun for, I think, 20 years now. I haven't picked up, and nothing again. I started with the rifle and a guide rifle, but just on this archery journey right now, and it's frustrating. My wife says sometimes we'll turn into vegans because I don't get anything.
it's funny, man, because I always like when I see dudes that are so consistent with their bow pulling big stuff. It's hard to be like, man, what are
Yeah,
you doing?
yeah.
Because But some guys, they just
Yeah,
get it, man. They're just killers with their bow. But it's your opportunity is so
yeah,
limited, man.
it is. It is, and that's what makes us. I think Hawaii hunters have a huge advantage because we can hunt axis deer, goats, and pigs year round, and there's no tag limitations. So if you want the ultimate playground to get good with archery and learn every scenario and every mistake, there's no better place than Hawaii. Maybe Texas or New Zealand, but I think Hawaii would get you pretty darn close to not mastering the skill, but very confident on what you need to do.
Are you guys? You recommend bringing camouflage over there to hunt with, or what? Because it's such a short hunt, and you're obviously Hawaii. Is it? Are you? Have most guys bring their camo to hunt in?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, over the years, I was all camel. And rifle, I would, you know, I didn't rifle, rifle didn't really matter. I've kind of turned more into a solid guy, you know, kind of neutral greens, grays, things like that, browns. Archery, I do still see advantage for a camel top. I know it's all movement based, but I feel like for archery, it does give you a little bit advantage. It maybe gives you another 2 seconds. I do think it breaks you up a little bit better. So yeah, I it's not a big deal. You can do solids. You can wear whatever you want. I've had guys wear aloha shirts on a rifle hunt, so they came
That's
from a luau.
where I was going.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get it done no matter what. But for archery, I do recommend good solids or definitely camel. Yeah.
What broadheads do you like guys to bring, or have you seen fixed or mechanicals do any better or worse?
Now that's a good question. I we This is something I think I've been fortunate to see. With probably over 200 harvests I've witnessed and been a part of. I am a believer in mechanicals. A, a, a real sharp mechanical that has a good sharp tip with sharp blades has always been the most effective because I find that a lot of guys in archery, it's hard to practice enough to get really, really good. So a lot of these guys, they'll shoot, but they don't have time to really perfect it. So they come out, and in archery, you take every bit of advantage you can get. Because if you're off by 1 inch, I'd rather have a mechanical that has a bigger cutting diameter than a fixed blade that you might lose. That might be the difference between losing the animal. So for us, because axis deer are thin, thin hide deer, we recommend mechanicals. We've seen better success with mechanicals, and we've seen more hunters saved by mechanicals just because of the cutting diameter, and they just fly better. If you don't have a well-tuned bow, then mechanicals are the way to go. And a lot of people don't know how to tune their bow, and they don't know what they're doing. And sometimes these archery shops don't know what they're doing. So,
Yeah, I'll vouch for that.
yeah. So mechanical is my vote. And I think the best mechanical that I've seen is the Grim Reapers, probably. The Grim Reaper Pro Series, inch and 3/8. Just the way they're very sharp. I think they have the sharpest tip. They have some of the sharpest blades. Um, and their blades sweep back far enough where it allows you to get a good penetration. I also like, Evolution. They have some good blades too. I think I'm saying that right. I think he's out of Arizona, right? Evolution.
I think so.
Yeah,
It
Evolution.
sounds
Yeah,
right.
yeah. He's got good blades. Um, I don't like Rages. I think the quality's gone downhill. Um, but yeah, I think Grim Reapers. They're out of Utah, all American made, are great broadhead. But you use what works. That's what I always tell guys. If you're confident in it, then bring it. Use it.
Yeah. No, 100%, dude. You got to be familiar with your equipment and know what it's going to do. Otherwise, it's pretty pointless when it gets
Yeah,
to killing time. What other gear do you recommend guys
yeah.
bring for this type of hunt?
Yeah, I one of the things that we like, I think, because Hawaii's so beautiful, is optics. We always recommend. I use Swaro NL Pures 10 by 42s. They're just for me. I kind of wish I went with the 12s, but I think the 10s are good. Just because for archery, I can handhold them. They're pretty darn steady, and then I can put them on a tripod and really get some cool pictures. And the axis deer are beautiful. Like when they're rutting with their beautiful white spots and black manes on the chest, they're beautiful. So I always tell guys to bring, optics, spotting scope if they want. If it's a spotting scope, the mini spotters are the best right now. I'm recommending the Koa 55 or the Swaro STC, ATC. I think I'm saying that
Hmm.
right.
Yep.
Um, and then the Vortex, that new mini Vortex is pretty darn good for the price point. I think it's like $1,000, and it's does its job. I mean, it's not Swirl quality, but and if you have, I'm excited for what you have launching with this capture gear because I think that's going to be a game changer in the digiscoping world. So it's guys have there's so much stuff out there, but a lot of it takes them so long to put it together. And I'm like, do you want to go harvest that animal, or do you want to just sit here all day and fiddle with your gadgets here? So that's kind of, has you have to be efficient with your gear, and a lot of guys aren't. So, um, and then other than that, rain gear, rain jacket is important. We get a lot of rain, lightweight, cross trainers, lightweight clothes, pants, anything synthetic. I think works the best for us out here. It dries quick. Just a small backpack, and that's about it. We bring some snacks and food and stuff like that.
What about knives? Because flying, obviously, you could throw it down your stowaways, but a lot of guys bring their own processing knives to gut and stuff. Or do you guys offer? You guys mostly handle that.
Yeah, we mostly handle that now. Um, there's a lot of good knives out there. We tend to use Havalons for, caping out, facing out, trophy bucks that they want to mount. We like Havalons, replaceable blades, kind of a pain in the butt. Um, I also like, the Montana knife companies are great too for skinning. I like some of those knives too. There's a lot of great stuff on the market now, but we don't usually have guys bring their knives unless they want to help us. But we do. That's part of the deal. We do that. It's their time to relax.
What kind of client do you get for this type of hunt? That's because it's not really a traditional like in my I guess my ignorant opinion because I've never been, but it seems like it's more of a. I mean, you still have to get after it, but it's not. You're not like preparing for this all year to come out
Yeah,
there.
we've had over the years of doing it. We've had it all. We've had Jim Shockey. We've had Jim Burnsworth. We've had the guys from Epic Outdoors. We've had quite a selection of professional hunters to the average guy who heard a podcast on Joe Rogan after COVID on how you should eat liver and organs and things like that, who came out and just wanted to get some organ meat and things like that. We've had it all. Um, I think they look at it sometimes, these people showing up, oh, I want to go fishing, oh, let's go hunting, and they don't know what they're getting into. So sometimes those hunters can be challenging, but we get a lot of big time hunters coming out here. A lot of the big names have come out here in the industry. So it's a mixture. It's a mixture. Female, males, kids, everything.
That
Families,
was
a lot of
not.
families.
That was another question. Is there an age limit on hunting for bringing youth?
Good question. Yes. And I don't quote me on this, but I think it's 12 or older. Don't know if have the right number there, but there is an age limit. Um, but yeah, I think it's 12 and over.
Do they need? Let me see if I can find her. I wonder if they need a
Yeah.
They probably have, yeah, basic hunter education.
I have to pull that up. Or is it 10? It might be 10.
You must be 16 years old to take your class on your own. If you were 10 years old, blah. So it
Depends
looks
on the
like it,
state, though. As long as you have a license, I think you can.
because that's got to be a. I mean, that'd be sweet, dude, to bring your boy with you, your daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, I should know that. I don't know.
I mean, if they have to have a hunter education, it's got to be.
Yes, they do. You
So
definitely got to have that to get your license. If you don't have that, you can't get your license.
so I wonder if they just refer to the other states because
Yeah, it could
some are
be.
10, some are 12, some are 14.
Yeah, everyone's different. That's the thing. So, yeah.
So if you want to go, look it up.
Yeah, look,
Check the regs.
or I think it's on our website too. I can check. But yeah, our website's hawaiisafaris.com too, if you want to check it out. There's a lot of information on there.
Um, cool, man. So what you got? Some big plans for this upcoming year? You can come in mainland hunting or somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna play the tag game and see what I can draw. I put in for a mountain goat archery tag in Alaska in the lottery, so if I can draw that, that would be definitely one of my top items to pursue. Um, might do a archery elk hunt in Montana, and yeah, just play the tag game and see what happens from there. Um, but yeah, hoping to get over there. How about yourself?
I gotta get this stupid capture launch, but I want to. I guess
Yeah.
I canceled the black bear hunt this year. I want to go definitely do black bear hunt next year. And then my
Oh,
boy has
nice.
a. They have a cool tag here in Utah called Dedicated Hunter. So if you draw it, you're kind of stuck on the unit for 3 years, but you can harvest 2 deer in those 3 years. So the way tags have gone, it's a pretty good deal because it's hard to get them. And the other thing I like about it is they make you do either buy hours, but you have to do 32 service hours. So we go plant bitter brush on the unit for the mule
Oh,
deer that we.
wow.
So it's cool to
Yeah.
see them put some work in and stuff like that. So we're focused on that right now. But same thing with points, man. I got a slew of points in Colorado and Arizona. Utah, I
Nice.
can draw some. So it sucks to play the point game, man. You got to plan out your
Oh,
fall.
it's tough. It's tough, especially with kids and family. Yeah, it's hard because the
And
family
guiding,
always wants
dude.
to do a trip, and yeah.
Yeah, guiding's tough because you're usually taking somebody
Yeah,
and you have time to hunt.
I usually take no one in September. I just kind of block it out for myself.
How many can you shoot? You just shoot one a year. How many kids a resident can you? How many access to your can you take?
A resident could take as many as they want. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah. So that's where you get good. You get good. You get efficient with your weapon.
so you're definitely
So
hooked on access deer.
yeah, we that's what we eat. We don't really buy a lot of beef. We just eat Axis deer all year. My kids love it. Make burger, spaghetti, tacos, and that's what we live on pretty much.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Lucky,
It's
very lucky. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah,
Cool, man. Well, so we're throw some links. I'll add this to the show notes and on the listing. But where can guys come find out about your opportunity to come hunt with you?
yeah, appreciate it, Eric. So hawaiisafaris.com is our website, and then can also reach out to me on my Instagram page, which is Nicholas Maui no Kaoi. Little harder to say, so might need to type that out at the bottom. But you can also direct message me there. And then if you're looking at, Big Island or anything like that, yeah, just reach out. Really filling up for this year, and got some moisture last night. We had a storm come through with lightning and thunder, and got pretty good dumps. So good timing because the bucks have dropped their horns, and they'll start regrowing them here in the next couple weeks. So the more moisture we can get, we'll take it. So it's looking good.
Do you guys shed hunt out there, or do you not mess with it because it's so thick?
I do. I'll do it with my boys, but it's not as big as like the mainland, Utah, Arizona, where it's a hobby. Yeah. It's harder here. It's real thick, so it's
Yeah.
not as open. Yeah.
Do the antlers last, or do they just that moisture just crush them? They just deteriorate quick.
They deteriorate pretty quick. They go from brown and the sun is so hot too, so they go from brown to white pretty quick. So you got to find them pretty quick. Yeah.
One more question, real
So,
quick, is how far out
yeah.
do they have to book with you?
Yeah, we definitely only take a certain amount, so the earlier the better. This is a good time right now to call. Um, so at least six months or longer. We do take last minute, but it gets a little bit harder with dates because we're not going back to back with hunters. We like to spread it out a little bit.
Makes sense.
Yeah, just not to put pressure. They're so skittish. If you put too much pressure, they just become nocturnal. So we like to balance it out a little bit.
If you put too much pressure on them, do they leave the area? I mean, what's a typical area?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the other challenge. Yeah, you can pressure them off the ranches, and then they start coming out later or coming, going back in the morning early, where you're rushing trying to get a shot off. So yeah, they're just they're hunted from India, so they were hunted by tigers. It's their genetics. They're just always looking around, always on point. The ultimate challenge. Love it. They're kind of like, I guess, a coos deer, whitetail kind of antelope, maybe.
Yeah,
Haven't hunted
there's
antelope or coos deer. Yeah.
no antelope's different, but like the whitetail version it's they're like on crack, man. There's no when you're
Yeah.
stalking, they're just like you're reading their body, and their head just throws, or they just move.
Yeah.
It's different than a mule deer. Usually, you can kind of time when they're gonna look around and stuff, but whitetails, man, and actually the same way when I hunted them in Texas. I'll be honest, it was a high fence. We were shooting meat, just some
Yep.
does, but it was the same way, man. You're trying to stalk them,
Yeah.
they're like for no reason at all. They're just like whoosh,
Yeah.
like looking around, jumping.
Yeah.
That's cool. It sounds like a
Yeah.
blast, man.
It is. It's fun. It's fun. I definitely recommend it. And it's affordable. It's not a sheep hunt cost. um,
What's a
but
ballpark price right now to come over?
yeah, it depends on, the package and what you're looking for. But for an Axis buck, they're about 4 grand. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Cool. They can definitely
yeah,
check it out. Like I said, we'll add all your links and stuff to the show notes, and so people can find that.
right
Talk to you
on.
about hunting. So
Cool. Appreciate it, Eric. Yeah.
yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
And yeah, when's the capture gear looking rolling out? You guys doing
We're rolling
good?
out. I can't remember. You were 16. Is that what you have?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are in production right now. We're trying to get them
Perfect.
out in February, so those should
Nice.
ship here by February. So we're taking pre-orders for all that stuff right now, but just getting here, man.
Yeah.
Part of the game.
Yeah. Patience.
But
Yeah. It'll
but
be worth it.
for your setup, you'll love it, man.
Yeah. Can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah. Right on. Well, yeah. Happy New Year, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude. Let me know if you need something. I appreciate it.